In this video, I'm going to show you how SMS marketing actually works inside of GoHighLevel, specifically the automations, workflows, and messaging strategies that turn texts into real conversations and real conversions. I'm Erin from GoHighLevel Mastery, and by the end of this tutorial, you'll know exactly how to send SMS, automate follow-ups, and build text workflows that run in the background so nothing slips through the cracks. Quick note before we jump in, I am showing this from a GoHighLevel sub account, which is what most business and client accounts actually use. Everything you'll see today, from messaging to automations, lives directly inside of GoHighLevel. Let's dive in. Before we jump in, go ahead and sign up using my link down below that gives you access to GoHighLevel, and it also helps support the channel so I can make more tutorials like this. Now, as you scroll down the page, GoHighLevel breaks this down even further with a simple framework: capture, nurture, and close. So what you're looking at here is essentially the entire customer journey mapped out visually. At the top, you'll see all the platforms and channels businesses normally rely on, like Facebook, Google, SMS, calendars, CRMs, all feeding into one system instead of being scattered across different tools. And this is where GoHighLevel really shines. Instead of duct taping software together, everything flows into one funnel. So leads get captured through forms, landing pages, calendars, and inbound calls, and they're then nurtured automatically with SMS, email, voicemail drops, and follow-ups. And finally, they're closed using pipelines, appointments, payments, and tracking, all inside the same platform. And this matters because most businesses don't lose leads due to loss of traffic. They lose them because the follow-up is inconsistent and conversations fall through the cracks, and there's really no clear system for moving people from interest to sale. So GoHighLevel solves that by connecting every stage of the process, from the first click to final conversion, into one centralized system. And in this video, we are specifically focusing on the SMS piece of that funnel, which lives right inside of the nurture and close stages. So now that you understand how SMS fits into the bigger picture, let's jump back into GoHighLevel and start setting it up step by step. All right, so once you use our link down below and sign up, it'll take you to the launch pad of GoHighLevel. So what we want to do is go to conversations. All right, so this is the conversations inbox. This is where SMS lives inside of GoHighLevel. Any text message you send or receive, whether it's manual or automated, shows up right here. You can see incoming messages, reply in real time, and view the full conversation history for each contact in one piece. And there is no separate SMS tab, so if a text exists, it appears inside of this inbox. Next, click on automation, and that is going to be on the left-hand side, and then click on workflows. So this is where SMS gets automated. Workflows control when text messages are sent, like follow-ups, reminders, or responses based on what a contact does. So you build these once and GoHighLevel runs them automatically in the background. Even though the messages are sent from workflows, they still show up back in the conversations inbox you just saw. So when these two areas work together, conversations for handling messages and workflows for automation, SMS becomes a system and not just a one-off message. So now we are going to click on contacts on the left-hand bar. So if we were to click add contact, each contact record stores important details like name, email, and phone number. SMS only works if a phone number exists on the contact. So I am going to click my own name because I created a contact for myself earlier, but inside of the contact record, the left-hand side shows all of the contact's information. This is where GoHighLevel pulls the phone number from when sending SMS. Everything is tied directly to this contact. There's no separate SMS list or campaign screen. On the right side of the contact record is the conversation panel. This is where SMS actually happens inside of GoHighLevel. To send a manual text message, you simply type your message here and then you'll click send. So when a contact replies, their response shows up instantly in this same conversation thread. This makes it easy to manage conversations without switching tools or platforms. So this is manual SMS. It's useful for one-off follow-ups, personal replies, or testing message tone. Most importantly, this exact conversation view is what automations use later. Now let's get into what actually makes SMS powerful. This is where everything changes. Workflow workflows let you send SMS automatically based on actions, timing, behavior, and replies. So let's click on automation on the very left, and then we will see workflows. All right, so before we build anything complicated, let's walk through one of the most useful SMS automations you can set up inside of GoHighLevel, the missed call text back. So how do we do this? First, when you go to automation and workflows, you'll notice something important right away. You have several options to build automations inside of GoHighLevel. You can build everything manually from starting from scratch, or you can build using AI, which is what I'm gonna do for this video. So I will go into this more in detail, but I essentially put trigger first. So call status equals missed. Then the action, I am going to do send an SMS. And in the example message, I'll say, hey, and then their first name. Sorry, we missed your call. Want to book a time to talk, and then optional add a delay and stop the workflow if they reply. All you have to do is click send, and now they are literally generating your workflow using AI. All right, so they finished generating the workflow. So I named this one missed call text back, and now I'm gonna really just do a deep dive on what this means. So at the very top of the workflow, you'll see the trigger. This one says call details and then missed call status trigger. And so all this means is this workflow only starts when a phone call is missed. If the call is answered, nothing happens. If it goes through normally, nothing happens. So this keeps your messages relevant and prevents people from getting random texts that they shouldn't be getting. Then click save trigger. Right after the trigger, the first thing we do is send an SMS. So this is the instant text back that goes out as soon as the call is missed. So this message is simple and human. It says hi and then their full name. Sorry, we missed your call. Want to book a time to talk. So if you want to do this manually and not have AI build this for you, all you have to do is click custom values on the top left and then do contact. And like we did earlier, you would just add a contact and save their phone number if you want to manually add a new contact. And then you can select full name, their first name, their last name, their email, depending on what fits in the situation. But for this specific scenario, their full name or their first name would work, but it says full name, so it'll say contact name. But yeah, ultimately that is all you do, and then it'll automate that for you correctly. Then click save action. So after the SMS sends, we add a wait step. So this wait is set to wait for a contact reply, specifically replying to that SMS message, and wait up to 5 minutes. You can always change this time period, but what this does is pause the automation and listen. If the person replies, the system stops. If they don't reply, the workflow continues. And this is important because we don't want to overtext people who are already responding, and this keeps the automation from feeling robotic. Click save action, and if they reply, we stop. So on the left side, you'll see contact reply. If the contact responds to the text within those 5 minutes, the workflow ends here. At that point, the conversation moves into the conversations inbox where a real human can take over. So there's no extra messages and no awkward follow-ups. If they don't reply, on the right side is the timeout path. So if 5 minutes pass and there's no reply, the workflow sends one more SMS, the follow-up missed call text. This is a gentle nudge, not aggressive, it's not spammy. After that message sends, the workflow ends, and then that will be it. So again, it'll say, hey, and then the custom value, sorry, we missed your call, want to book a time to talk, and then you can always change it to be a little bit different from the initial SMS. All right, now that you've seen how SMS automations work in general, let's do an appointment status one together, because this is one of the most common and most useful automations you'll ever set up. So I'm going to go back into build using AI. I can say I want an automation that triggers when an appointment is booked, sends a confirmation text, and then sends a reminder text. So I can say that, and once I submit that, GoHighLevel's workflow AI generates a starting version of the automation for me. So we're not just staring at a blank canvas if you don't know how to set it up step by step, and we actually have a structure. But what I'm going to do is list down the specifics just so you guys can copy the workflow if you would like. So for this one, I just created it for you. For the trigger, I want the appointment status booked, the actions, confirmation SMS, the delay, the reminder SMS before the appointment, and then this reduces no-shows and runs completely hands-free. So now I'm just going to have them automate it by clicking send, and they will begin generating the workflow that we have submitted. And as it's generating, it will note down what you put down in the chat box. Okay, so now let's walk through what we're actually looking at once it's generated. I named it appointment reminder SMS. You always want to name your workflows to remember. At the very top of the workflow, you'll see the trigger. So this one says appointment status, and underneath it says appointment booked trigger with the status set to confirmed. So what this means in plain English is that this workflow only runs when someone successfully books an appointment. Nothing happens before that, and there's no booking and no texts. This is important because you never want confirmation or reminder messages going to people who didn't actually schedule anything. Once that trigger fires, the line moves down to the first action, which is send confirmation SMS. So this is the text that goes out immediately after the appointment is booked. So I can see on the right side that you'll notice it uses things like the contact name again, but this time it has the appointment title, the date, and the time, and these aren't typed manually. GoHighLevel automatically fills those in for each person. So instead of sounding robotic, the text feels personal, even though it is fully automated. Again, you can always change it by adding your own custom value. And before moving on, this is also where I can test the message by entering my own phone number and clicking send test SMS just to make sure that everything looks and sounds right. Then click save action. And after the confirmation text, the workflow moves into the wait step. This part is really important. The wait step tells GoHighLevel to pause and not send the next message yet. Instead of waiting a random amount of time, we set it based on the appointment time itself. So when I click into the wait step, I choose event and appointment time, and then I set it to wait until a certain amount of time before the appointment. That way, the reminder text goes out at the perfect moment, and it's not too early and not too late. And this is what makes the automation feel smart instead of spammy. So once that wait period is over, the workflow moves into the final step, which is send reminder SMS. So we can see here underneath wait, there is no additional SMS reminder. So I will click the plus sign, select SMS, and then I will rename it send reminder SMS. So this is the message that gently reminds the person about their upcoming appointment. Just like the confirmation text, it automatically pulls in the appointment date and time, so there is no confusion. So I can write with AI and I can say send a friendly reminder, the final reminder, reminding the person about upcoming, just like the say add custom value of appointment date and time, so there's no confusion, and then generating SMS. Awesome. So now it says, hi, contact name, just a friendly reminder about your upcoming appointment on your appointment date. At appointment time, we look forward to seeing you then. Best. Awesome. So I'm going to use this message, then clicking save action, and voila, we have the wait time and then send reminder SMS. Again, I can click into this step, read the message, tweak the wording if I want, and send the text message to myself to make sure that it looks good. Now that you've seen how appointment and missed call automations work, let's do a reply-based SMS automation. This is where HighLevel really starts to feel smart. So I basically had built the reply-based automation, and then I labeled it reply-based automation. You always, again, want to label your automations. So I am going to break down the screen. The first thing we did is you'll see the trigger dropdown, and then we're going to choose customer reply. So this means anytime a contact replies to an SMS, they can enter this workflow. Then we give it it a clear name like customer replied with keyboard filter. So this is just for you. It helps you remember what this automation does later on. And then right under that, we are going to add a contains phrase and then the word discount. So what this means is simple. The workflow only runs if the customer replies with the word discount. So if someone texts anything else like thanks, okay, LOL, nothing happens. Only the exact behavior we care about triggers the automation. And this is how you stop automations from feeling spammy. Next, we add a condition step. So think of conditions like a fork in the road. On screen, we name it something like replied message contains discount. Inside the condition, we're telling HighLevel to look at the replied message, check if it contains the word discount. So why do we do this if we already filtered the trigger? It's because conditions let us branch logic later. So this gives us flexibility if we want to add more paths in the future, like handling different keywords or routing messages differently. If the condition is true, the contact goes down the yes path. If not, they go down the none branch, which basically means nothing else happens. Click Save Action. So now that we're on the yes branch, and this is where customers actually get a response, we send an SMS action, and then we'll name it send follow-up SMS about discount. And then on screen, you can see the message. This text is very friendly. It has the contact's name, a booking or offer link, your username at the end. And what this message does is it acknowledges their interest and it immediately gives them the next step. Plus, it keeps the conversation moving without a human needing to jump in. This is important because the automation responds instantly, which massively increases conversion compared to waiting hours to reply manually. Click Save Action. So right after the SMS goes out, we add one more action, and that is the internal team notification. This does not go to the customer. Instead, it alerts the assigned user or your team that a customer has requested information about a discount. This is huge for sales and support teams because it means the customer gets an immediate response. Your team still knows there's real intent and there's no leads that slips through the cracks. So we'll see the notification title. You can add a short internal message and then route it to the user assigned to that contact and then redirect them straight to the conversation view. So yeah, this is what automation that actually converts looks like. It's responsive, it's human, and it only fires when the customer asks for it. That's how you scale SMS without annoying people, and why HighLevel is so powerful when you use workflows the right way. There are a few non-negotiables when it comes to SMS. Contacts must opt in, always include reply stop to unsubscribe, respect quiet hours, do not blast large lists all at once. Good SMS health keeps your messages deliverable and your account safe. Where to improve conversions. So here's how to actually get results from SMS. Keep messages short and make it sound human. Personalize it with contact fields. Use delays instead of blasts. Let replies drive the next action. Treat SMS like a conversation, not an ad. And this is what separates high converting SMS from spam. How to track what's working. Okay, so back to conversations. Here are a few more things you need to know. Right now, this page looks pretty empty, and that's totally normal. This just means there aren't any active conversations happening at this moment. But when your SMS is actually running, the left side is where you'd see names start popping up, and each one represents a real person who replied to a text. Maybe they asked a question, maybe they confirmed an appointment, or maybe they replied with a keyword like discount. So when I click into a conversation, I can see the full message in one place, every text that we sent, every reply they sent back, and nothing gets lost and nothing lives in a separate tool. This is also where you will notice patterns. You'll start seeing which messages get replies, which ones don't. If people are responding quickly, your wording and timing are probably good. If conversations feel dead, then that's a sign something needs adjusting. And if someone replies stop in all caps, HighLevel automatically handles that for you and removes them from future messages. You'll You'll also see that reflected right here once you have conversations going so that you're always staying compliant without thinking about it. So even though this page looks quiet right now, this is where all the action happens once your SMS automations are live. And then this inbox is how you track what's working, what's not, and how real people are actually engaging with your business. And that's how SMS marketing actually works inside of GoHighLevel, from real conversations to automations that follow up for you automatically. When SMS is set up the right way, it becomes one of the highest ROI channels in your entire business. If this walkthrough helped you, you can use the link below to get started with GoHighLevel. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm Erin from GoHighLevel Mastery. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.